occupying buildings that symbolizes establishment power was the hallmark tactic of civil rights and anti-war protesters of the 1960s. And I was taught, and I still believe, that this is a heroic gesture of civil disobedience. Those who had taught me that this form of activism is the most moral and effective strategy for the disenfranchised, even citing Gandhi and Thoreau as inspirations, are now telling me that suddenly, since January 7th, 2021, it is now an act of sedition, terrorism, and treason. I believe my teachers have betrayed their own principles for cheap political expedience. The Patriots were perfectly in the right to storm the Capitol building, as it was done far more peacefully than any protest I had watched throughout the last summer. The Patriots didn't burn down people's houses. The Patriots didn't burn down mom and pop stores. The Patriots didn't assault random people in the street to rob them. The Patriots didn't murder anybody. The Patriots did not wall off an entire section of an American city and declare the zone a total secession from the United States. The Patriots did not set any federal building on fire. The Patriots did not throw explosives, bricks, or bottles of piss at the police. The Patriots did not desecrate paintings, statues, nor flags representing the integrity of an entire nation and its citizenry. The Patriots didn't even bring their guns out of compliance to a mayor's unconstitutional order. The Patriots did not call for the nullification of the U.S. Constitution, nor any branch of government. And most importantly, the Patriots never spat upon the America's founding principles, nor called for its utter destruction. However, every single one of you hypocrites and unprincipled cowards who have now suddenly found value in and respect for American law and order, her legal system, her law enforcement, her founding fathers, and her Constitution since, well, yesterday? Those who are now suddenly disgusted by the very idea of protests and dissidents, you had either engaged in my listed violent acts only months ago, or at the very least, outwardly supported it through keyboards, megaphones, and even podiums. The very belligerent, radical, and seditious acts that the Patriots, I stress again, did not perform. The only ones who lied dead on the Capitol floor 2 days ago were Patriots. Unarmed Patriots. So, we now see how quick and comfortable establishment security is with firing upon Patriots who complied with unconstitutional disarmament orders. Do not make this mistake again. Peacefully carry your arms in future protests, as is your constitutional right. Exactly as the Black Panthers did over 50 years ago at the California State Capitol building. And I know many of you listening now will assume that because I'm defending Trump supporters in their time of grievance, that I would not have shown the same sympathetic leniency for these black militants operating within the same legal framework. And that's because you're the presumptive bigoted asshole in the room. The time for you to stop projecting and to start introspecting has long been overdue. The Patriots did not storm that building in any coup attempt. That is a disgusting lie by disgusting and corrupt leaders. They did it because they demanded a fair trial for the mile-long list of election fraud claims before the confirmation. That is it. They simply want the system to represent them too. And why the hell shouldn't they? They've contributed and honored the system far more than the communist and corporate bastards currently exploiting it. Allow a judge, one judge, to officially rule the evidence in a court of law. Do not pretend that this is too much to ask from those you have slandered, dismissed, belittled, marginalized, assaulted, and censored relentlessly in the last 4 fucking years. Finally, and back to my original point, I support the idea of any group of aggrieved American citizens whose avenues of legal recourse have been denied or ignored to engage in the very act of civil disobedience displayed on the 6th. Though maligned and mischaracterized by corrupt politicians and reporters alike, and I'll support them regardless of their political alignment, which makes me morally superior to most of you leftist pieces of degenerate shit. However, and much to my shock, today I watched several videos of the police originally instructed to bar any protesters from entering the Capitol building simply open the barricades and usher in the very protesters who I was previously told by the mainstream media violently stormed in. Why? Why? Well, you're not going to get an honest answer from the establishment. The answer is simply this. With those aligned with the newly confirmed administration calling for the arrest of President Trump and his supporters, and not just the ones who simply trespassed on federal property, but all of us. The precedent is certain. January 6th will be known as the New World Order's Reichstag fire incident. The purge is coming. Be ready.